All right, so the notes that we're going to do, we're going to call them linear function notes. Linear functions notes. And we have done one of these before when we did our Frere model on systems of equations, when we did one on quadratic equations where we were given the same information or the equation or something, and you had to do 4 different methods or 3 different methods to get the same answer, okay? So we're going to do that same thing here today. We have the same information that it's giving us, but we're going to go about getting the answer a different way, and we're going to do that 4 times, 4 different ways, okay? So, looking at the very first thing, it says find the equation of the line with the slope of 3/4. So I want you to underline the word slope, and let's talk about the word slope. Tell me some things that you remember about the word slope. Yes?
It's M.
It is M.
Yeah.
You can write that down. What else?
It's also how much you go up and down to the next coordinate.
Okay, so we can call that rise over run. Up and right, down and right, right? Rise and run. What else? It's connected to the X. All right, what else?
It's the slanted line.
Okay, it's the slant of the line, yes.
Is it your,
How about constant rate of change? Does that ring a bell?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yes.
All
Alright, so on your file folder, in one of your colors, you don't have to use color, but you might want to, I want you to write everything that we just talked about for slope. The slope is your M. Is this inside or out? Wherever. Wherever on your folder that you want to write it, you write it.
So, is this going to be a grade?
Yes, it is. Quickly, please.
I'm not writing.
The slope is M. It is constant rate of change. It is rise over run. Change in y over change in x. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You might want to box that information because we will be putting other things in there as well. All right. So we've talked about the slope and that it passes through the point -2, 3. Now tell me about what a point has in its letters.
A number.
With letters. The -2, 3 is x and y, yes. So here's another thing we're going to write in our formula on our folder. Maybe you want to choose a different color. A point is xy in parentheses. You're putting this on your folder.
I really like this color.
Is that it?
For this part. Just a point that's x and y. All right, so it says use the point slope formula. Does anybody remember the point slope formula?
Y minus y1 equals x times x minus x1.
So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So let's choose a different color if you'd like to do that. And we're writing that on the folder as well. Point slope formula. Somewhere on the folder, write point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Might want to box the information as we go. Okay, so let's use that information. Remember, there are three places that we plug something into, y1, m, and x1. So, when we start to plug in, what number goes in for your y1? 3. What number goes in for your m? 3/4 times x minus, what's the x number? -2. All right. So here is the filled in formula for the point slope formula. What is it that we do now?
Negative, positive.
Yeah, let's get these two negatives to be simplified. So that's y minus 3 equals 3/4 times x plus 2. All we did was change the minus and negative to a plus. Now our next step, several people said, what is that?
Would you distribute?
Distribute, yes. Distribute the 3/4, so that's 3/4 x. What is 3/4 times 2?
1.5.
1/3.
1.5. Okay. And then we'll just write down the left-hand side of the equation. And then to get y by itself, what are we going to do? Add 3. So y equals 3/4 x plus 4.5. Okay, so as you can see, this is one way for us to find the equation given this point and this slope. On the second one, we're going to get that same answer, but we're going to start it a different way. So forget that this is your answer. Forget that you've done this problem, okay? Now let's read the second problem. It says use the graph to find the equation of the line with a slope of 3/4. So there's that slope again. Slope is m, we said, that passes through the point -2, 3. And it says use your estimating skills. So first, what is the equation that they're asking for?
Oh, it's the
I don't want the answer because we don't know the answer yet.
Equation of the line is b.
We want y equals mx plus b.
Yeah.
Remember that that is called your slope-intercept form, so get you a new marker and let's write it in our folder.
We're going at it.
So the slope-intercept form of an equation is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept.
So how many days are we going to be writing on this folder?
A total of 11.
That's a lot of writing.
It'll be okay.
We have to write some.
Now, since we've just introduced the word y-intercept here, we probably want to talk about that for a moment. So tell me some things that you might know about y-intercept. Yes?
Where it crosses the y-axis.
Excellent. Where it crosses the y-axis. What else about y-intercept do you know? What letter is it?
One.
It's the B.
The B.
How do you write it as an ordered pair? 0 and then the y. And then in a situation style problem, how do you know that it's the y-intercept?
That's when it crosses the y.
Yes, but if you're talking about a situation like you're going to...
0 and then the number like that.
Right, that's the point. But if you're talking about a problem like Katie babysits and she gets $35 per hour plus $10 for supplies. So what would be... It's the initial value. Very good, Charles, the initial value. So there's some information about y-intercept that you want to write down.
Dang, you're creative.
So the y-intercept is B, crosses the y-axis, 0y, an initial value. Shh. Shh. Okay, so that's the y-intercept, and this will be the end of the stuff that we'll write in the folder today. Okay, so let's use this information to write the equation. First of all, it says for us to use the graph. How are we going to use the graph?
Plugging in or plotting or whatever.
Somebody tell me where I need to start.
At the 4.5.
We don't know that there's a 4.5 yet.
Oh, my bad.
Brittany says to go and use the point -2, 3. So we're going to start here. Start here. So you're going to go -2 and then 3. And then, what did you say, Blake? You said to go up 3 and right 4. And do that again, up 3 and right 4. You can use your folder to draw a straight line through those 3 points. And then it says, use your estimating skills to finish the equation. So we know that the slope is what?
3/4.
3/4. How do we find the B now that we've graphed it?
Where it crosses.
Good. Here's the y-axis. And so where it crosses the y-axis is your y-intercept, which in this case, use your estimating skills, it's about at what place? 4.5. It doesn't cross exactly at the 4 or at the 5, so we can put 4.5. Is that the same equation we got from the first one? Yes. Any questions there? Okay, let's look at the third box down at the bottom. The third box says, use an H table to find the equation of a line through the point -2, 3 with a slope of 3/4. So again, it's the same information that we're starting with, but it's asking you to do something different. So again, we don't know anything about the equation except for the slope. All right, so we're going to use what's called an H table, and it looks like this. And we know that this is the X and this is the Y. And inside is the process column. And since we're looking for an equation, we're looking for this to be mx plus b, or y equals mx plus b. And does it give us anything that we can put in this table right now? Good, Brittany. The -2 is the x and the 3 is the y. Now look at your process column. Not looking at the y right now. What is the m needing to be?
3/4.
3/4. What about the x? What does it tell us the x is? -2. And we don't know the b, right?
3.
We don't know the b.
What?
We know the y, but that's not the y-intercept. We need to know what number goes for b that will make a 3 out of this. So what is 3/4 times -2? A -1.5, right? So plus what will give you 3? 4.5. Well, so what we think that 4.5 is our B, right?
Yeah.
How do we write that as an ordered pair?
0,
0, 4.5. So let's see if it works with the 0. We do the same thing. Our 3/4 is our slope. We put 0 for the x. And we say 3/4 times 0 plus what gives us 4.5? What is 3/4 times 0? 0 plus what? 4.5. Isn't that the same thing we had on the first one? Yes. So then our process becomes our equation. Y equals 3/4 times whatever the x is. And if you add 4.5, you will get the y value for that. Is that the same equation that we got on the other two? Yes. So the h table takes the slope and it takes the x and multiplies it together and says, what can I add to this answer to give us the y value? That's what this process is. Take the slope, multiply it by x, add something to it to give us the 3, and that is the something that's our y-intercept. Okay? That's an h table. Then the last part says, use the slope-intercept formula. What is the slope-intercept formula? Y equals mx plus b. It says to find, so we're using this one to find the equation that passes through the -2, 3, and it has the slope of 3/4, and it says, substitute all values that you know and solve for b. So here's another strategy to get the same equation with that same information. Does it give us a y value? Yes, it gives us a y value. Here's an x and here's a y. What is the y value? 3. Does it give us the m? 3/4. Does it give us the x? Plus b. Then we just have to solve for b, because we don't know what that one is. So what is 3/4 times -2? -1.5. And then what? Add 1.5. So 4.5 is your b. But we just have to finish it by writing the final equation. What's the m? 3/4 x plus, what did we find the b to be? 4.5. Is that the same as we got all 3 other times? Yes. Okay? What I want you to do is you're going to practice these 4 methods today. But by the time you get to the test on May the 6th, you need to know one of these methods and you need to rock at it. Because, guys, there is going to be a question that has a point and a slope, and it's going to ask you for the equation. So whichever method you think you like the best right now, that's the one that you really need to focus on so that when you come to the test time, you'll know how to do it.